Fighting games are considered to be the hardest video game genre of them all. Whether you're a new player or a seasoned veteran, these games can take a very long time to get used to. This leads a lot of players to give up or not even give fighting games a fair shot. That's why in today's video, I'm making it my mission to simplify the fighting game experience for you and give you some methods to rapidly improve your gameplay. The stuff that I'm going to be talking about today can be applied to absolutely any fighting game. I mean any. 2D, 3D, platform, it really doesn't matter. Before we begin, my name is Big Flounder. I make fighting game content and I also stream fighting games every single night on my YouTube and my Twitch channel. I would love to see you there sometime. With that being said, get yourself comfortable and enjoy the video. Now, outside of fighting games, I'm actually a huge MMA fan. I've done boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, you name it, I have done it. I am a huge fan of MMA. Now, I know I don't look like your typical martial arts student, but I have the receipts to prove it. I've met some pretty cool people through training, and yes, that is Le'Veon Bell right there. Regardless, the reason I bring this up is I really enjoyed the way that I trained inside of those MMA gyms. I felt that it got the information in my head a lot easier, and I started to combine that knowledge with fighting games. And truth be told, I think I've invented a method that allows me to train fighting games a lot quicker than I used to. So with that being said, let's go over 3 simple steps to get better at absolutely any fighting game. Starting with, the absolute most important tip I can give to any new or old fighting game player is safety, and understand that the most important thing to prioritize in any fighting game regardless is safety. Prioritize defense, prioritize not getting hit, because the only way to lose in a fighting game is to lose your health bar. So the best way not to do that is to understand your defensive options very well and understand how to keep yourself safe. That is the #1 priority over anything. I wouldn't even focus on getting your optimal combos, getting anything until you are good at defending yourself. Because let's say that you suck at a character. Let's say that you are absolutely atrocious dog shit. You cannot touch anybody with this character, but you know how to defend in this game perfectly. Let's say you're playing Street Fighter. I have a Street Fighter example right now. Let's say Akuma just came out and you are atrocious at him, but you can block every single string that somebody throws at you. Guess what? You're still probably going to beat that person, because eventually you will wear them down and you're blocking the things they're doing. The safer you stay, the better you play. And like I said, I notice a lot of pro players, a lot of tournament goers, all of the best players in the world are not going for the crazy hectic stuff that I see a lot of low level players doing. A lot of players in Street Fighter 6 love to use DI, they love to drive impact people, which is a very unsafe counter tool that leaves you unsafe a lot. When I watch someone like Punk to God, who is most likely the best Akuma player in the entire world right now, I start to notice he barely ever uses this tool. What Punk to God does is he understands from a very basic perspective, okay, I need to stay safe. So he stays at a very medium range. That's where Akuma's best at. He stays at this medium range and allows other characters to make mistakes. He walks back and forth and waits for their mistakes. That is what you should do in any fighting game. You should understand where your character needs to be sitting and look for those mistakes and look for those defensive options. Because, like I said, if you can defend everything, they will never be able to hit you. Another thing that these players do that's very important in defensive options is poking. They find options that aren't necessarily great for combos, but are very long-range tools and keep their opponent guessing. For example, Akuma right now, one of his best pokes is forward medium kick. This is a tool that doesn't really lead into anything, but it has a lot of range, and you hit at the tip of the foot and it's pretty good for neutral. Poking your opponent in games like Mortal Kombat and games like Street Fighter and games like Tekken is vital, and finding your character's longest range buttons that leave you safe and don't make you unsafe will make your opponent a lot more reluctant to punch you. It's just like jabbing somebody. Like I said, the MMA approach. When you jab somebody, when you're the best boxers use their jab the most. They have the best jab. So if you get the best pokes, if you are the best at poking, if you can stop your opponent with your pokes and stop their movement and keep them in the space that you want them to be, you will be the best person in fighting games. It applies that way. I see poking and jabbing as the same thing. And like I said, the best boxers, Floyd Mayweather, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, they had incredible jabs. So focus on defense and focus on your jabs, focus on your pokes. And that is my #1 tip for anybody who wants to get better at fighting games. Once you've got your defensive tools down, you're able to block everybody and anybody, no matter who they're playing. Now it's time to move on and pick your character. Pick whoever you find the coolest. Don't go off the tier list. That's the one way to ruin fighting games for yourself. Find somebody who you think looks very interesting, you like their playstyle, pick them and roll with that. And what you need to do is take them into practice immediately. Don't go online, don't do any of that. Take them into practice immediately and do the following steps. #1, the most important thing to do on any character that you pick for the first time, I'm using Havoc in Mortal Kombat 1 right now, find their best pokes. Don't look for combos, don't look for any of that, don't do any of that right now. Just find the absolute best buttons that you can use in neutral to keep your opponent guessing. Find their longest range moves and find their best moves at close range. So, Havoc, his best poke is down 4. Why? It has way too much range. I mean, this move's range, look, I'm all the way back here. This is like projectile range. Holy moly. How is this hitting him? It only stops like about here. This is a lot of range for a poke. His down 3, nowhere close, so don't use down 3 at this range. It's very, very important to find a move like this that you can use at this range, because a lot of characters will be approaching, walking forward, not blocking. In a game like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, if a character's walking forward, they can't possibly be blocking. So, you hit them with a poke, stop their movement, stop them in their tracks. Now that we have our pokes, we can look for our best strings, our longest range strings. What kind of strings should I be using up close? Well, Havoc has another really long range mid that's really good, back 2. Back 2 is a wonderful string, it has a lot of range, and it has a low and a throw attached to it, which is great for mix-ups. Movado just came out and made this mix-up a lot scarier for any Mortal Kombat players. He used to not be able to combo off this, now he is, so hallelujah. But it's very important to keep in mind, these combos and these strings are unsafe, and you should not be going for the throw 24/7. Instead, like it says in the bottom left there, pay attention to frame data. It's very important. The magic number in Mortal Kombat 1 is -7. Whatever game you're playing, find the magic number for safety. I forget what it is for Street Fighter. I don't know what it is for Tekken, but I know for Mortal Kombat it is -7. -7 is absolute, you're safe at anything. The only characters that can punish you on -7, if they're frame perfect, is Liu Kang and Kung Lao on their 6-frame jabs. But they can't get any combo from that, and it's really not that big of a deal. Now that I have my longest range combo tool and my longest range poke, it's time to figure out what do I do if somebody uses a move, like, let's say a very unsafe move. Reptile uses his slide, which is super unsafe. Well, I can't really punish with, well, I actually can't punish with that. Well, but with some moves that are unsafe, you can't always punish with your long-range tools. So, it's important to find which of my buttons are the quickest and the best for close-range combos. And for Havoc, that happens to be his 1-1. For most characters in Mortal Kombat, it's 1-1, because usually characters' 1s will start with 7 frames, and 7 frames, like we said, is the magic number. If you're able to hit somebody who uses something like -8, you're going to punish them with a 7-frame startup move. And a lot of moves in this game are only like -8, -9, -10, so you need to know which of these moves can be punished by jabs. This move right here has 18 frames to start up. That means that it can't punish a lot of moves. It can't punish Melina Ball Roll, it can't punish a lot of disgusting moves that it should be able to punish, but it can't. Like I said, in this section I'm going to be talking and emphasizing, very important to look at frame data. Frame data is the absolute guarantee that you are safe. If you are playing a fighting game, it's time to start getting good at frame data, truth be told. It's not very hard to understand. Once you get it down, basically, you'll start to understand the entire fundamentals of it. It's not that hard. It might seem complicated if you just got on fighting games, but truth be told, all you need to know is -7 is the magic number. And because of that, now you know, well, there's minus frames. How about plus frames? Plus frames are another thing to look for in your character's kit. What can I use in my kit to be plus, to make my opponent let me have a turn, even though I already hit them? That is a very good tool. Havoc has a couple of those. A lot of characters in most fighting games have some sort of plus tool, and finding which characters do and what their tools are will help you tremendously in the pressure game. Alright, so now we have our best poke, our best long-range combo, our best short-range punish combo. Now what? Now what do we do in the game, in fighting games in general? It doesn't just have to be Mortal Kombat, in any fighting game. Learn your anti-air. Anti-airs, I cannot stress how important they are and how neglected they are by most fighting game players who just come into these games for the first time. People spam jump all of the time. You're using any sort of projectile, they're going to be spamming jump towards you. They're in the corner, they're scared about waking up, they're just going to spam jump. In any game, it is a universal sign of panic. So, the best thing to do when your opponent is panicking is take advantage of that panic. Now, in a game like Mortal Kombat, usually characters' best anti-air is down 2. They give every character an uppercut, and it's very good for punishing any sort of jump in. So, Reptile, rah, jump in. Just like that. And with Movado, I can actually combo off of it. It's pretty gnarly, honestly. You don't want to jump in a lot on Havoc. Stuff like this, really just sit there, get your opponent to jump, and practice their best anti-airs. This is a good one. This projectile, if they time it like correctly, can't hit them out of the air. It's kind of annoying, but it's, like I said, it's a very slow projectile, so it doesn't always work. Honestly, in a game like Mortal Kombat, your best bet is going for uppercut. Going for uppercut will get you a very, very guaranteed, disgusting amount of damage. And sometimes you've got a character like Movado, you can even get more damage, do some crazy stuff with that. I'm not gonna do too much to flex on you guys, but off of an anti-air, you can get some disgusting setups. Let's just say that. All right, once you've got your poke, your long-range strings, your close-range punish strings, and your anti-air down, now it's time to start learning optimal combos. Now that you've got all these tools that you can actually use in neutral to understand how to get in on your opponent, that's when you start the combos. Because combos are completely worthless until you know how to actually start hitting your opponent. Once you can do that, once you can actually approach your opponent without fear, without being hit, with just hitting them, you will succeed. Now, let me show you a couple of Havoc optimal combos, just to show you, but every character has different optimal combos, and it's going to take a long time to learn them. Look them up on YouTube. Don't be afraid to look up guides. I have a couple on my channel, but do your research. And after that, I can go with the setup. This is a completely unblockable setup for a character like Havoc. With Movado, you can get something completely unblockable. Like I said, characters have a lot of different stuff, but there's just an example of some optimized damage plus a disgusting setup towards the end. Once you understand how to play your character at a fundamental level, that's when you understand how to do these setups, how to do these combos, and how to destroy your opponent. Focus hard on the fundamentals first, and you will start climbing a lot faster. Now, to switch things up a bit, we're going to go on to Multiversus, just to show you that these strategies can be used for any type of fighting game. Now, the third, and also I think just as valuable and just as important as the other tips, most important tip that I can give you for any fighting game player is practice. And that sounds dumb, we just talked about practice, but I'm not talking about normal practice, the way that you practice. Don't go in there for 5 minutes, yada yada yada, practice your optimal combos. No, I'm talking about real practice. I want you to drill, okay? I'm talking drills. Do some motherfucking drills to get these combos and get these shenanigans into your head. For example, I'm playing Superman right now. One of the hardest things in Multiversus is getting wave dashing down. Well, do sets of 10. Treat it like a workout, I'd say. Treat it like you're doing sets and you're actually drilling. If you've ever been in a sport, you know how drills work. If not, you do 5 sets of certain workout. For example, I'm going to do 5 sets of wave dashing. Let me try it again. If you mess it up, that's not a set. I would go slow at first if you're not very good at it. Go as slow as you can. Go as slow as you can, especially if you start messing it up. It's very important to start going slower, because the more you mess it up, the harder it gets. All right, I would say that's about 5 sets right there. 5 real sets. You got to get 5 real sets of not messing up, and that's where it's important. This also goes for optimal combos. You should go up to whatever character you're fighting and whoever you want to play, find their optimal combos, and don't just do them, drill them. Do them over and over and over so they're instilled within your head so you can do them without even thinking about it. Go on some Bruce Lee Ultra Instinct type shit and hit these combos like there's no tomorrow. So Superman's got this little combo right here. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, whoops, I messed it up. See, that's why you gotta drill. Be a real driller. Boom, just like that, we hit it. Now, for optimal combos, I usually try to hit it 10 times without failing, and then I'll go into ranked. And what I'll say is, if you want to do well in ranked, if you want to actually succeed, you need to do this every single time before you go into ranked. Because if you practice these combos and you never drop them, that gives you a huge edge over most online opponents. That gives you a huge edge over a lot of people. And in tournaments, that is usually the make or break reason of who wins the tournament and who doesn't. Who's dropping their combos, who has the best defense, and who did the most practice. Really, I think one of the most important things that you can practice in any fighting game is mobility. So I would make sure to, before any ranked game, find the best mobility options for your fighting game. Mortal Kombat 1, you got a wave dash. Street Fighter, same thing. Tekken, same thing. This, same thing. Understand how to wave dash, understand how to move as quick as you can, and get around the stage. It's really important, and truth be told, it will help you tremendously in any situation. Yeah, overall, for tip number 3, focus super hard on mobility, focus super hard on mobility drills, understand how to move the quickest you can in your fighting game, and drill your optimal combos, drill your scenarios. Let's say you've got a setup or something you want to try out, drill that. For Havoc, that Havoc setup I showed you, I've drilled that numerous times in practice mode just to make sure I can get it completely right. And there's a lot of caveats and nuances to it that I wouldn't know about unless I drilled them. So, Focus super hard on that drilling. Like I said, sets of 10. If you wanna focus on wave dashing, sets of 10. Focus on that. Focus on that. It's just like treat it like a workout. Treat it like an actual sport, because that is how you will succeed. If you take it seriously, just like how you would do drills on a real sport, I promise you will see success so much quicker than you ever have. Because I know when I started doing this for the first time, I saw success like that. And I was very surprised, because I've been ass at fighting games for a pretty long time. Now that we have all these tips, let's combine them and understand the most important game plan and the best way to get better at fighting games. Number 1, prioritize your defense and focus incredibly hard on poking your enemy. Focus incredibly hard on making your enemy stay in the space that you want them to be. If your character likes being in the medium range, like Akuma from Street Fighter, be in the medium range. If you want to be a rushdown character in their face, be in the close range. Find your best close range combos. You want to be in the far range? Find ways to stay at the far range at all times on the screen. And find your best defensive options. Every game has different defensive options. Mortal Kombat 1 has up block, Street Fighter has this little parry system, Multiversus has dodges. Understand how to use those to the best potential, and you will find yourself climbing faster than any other method. Second of all, take your character into practice mode and find their best buttons. Anti-airs, find their combo strings, long range, short range, find their best punish strings, find their best pokes, which is the most important. Find their best pokes, their long range combo strings, their short range punish strings, their anti-airs, and then their optimal combos. Once you find all of those things, I would go in that order. That is how you succeed in fighting a character and perfecting a character. It will take time. You will have to go on multiple training sessions over a long period of time, but once you get to the end and once you feel like you are mastering your character, there is not a single feeling on earth that is more rewarding. And number 3, once you have all this knowledge in your head, you know what your best pokes are, you know what your best combos are, drill them. Drill them constantly every single time before you go into a ranked game. Make sure that you have these things instilled in your head, that you're not dropping them, that you are defending correctly, that you have the best pokes, that you have the best combos down, and you do not drop them, because drills are the most important. And make sure that you drill your mobility options. Drilling the mobility options is really what separates the best players from the mediocre players, because the fastest players are the best. The fastest boxers are the best. The fastest anything is the best. So the faster you get, the better you'll get. And with that being said, that is going to be the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something today. I hope this will help your gameplay in any regard, whatever game you're playing. I wish you guys good luck. I will be streaming Mortal Kombat and really a lot of fighting games every single night on my Twitch and my YouTube channel, so go ahead and follow me there. And I also upload fighting game content on my YouTube channel, so please go ahead and subscribe. Also, I have a Discord server where I'll post updates to my Twitch streams, my YouTube streams, my whatever I'm doing, I'll post updates there. And we have a lot of fun stuff, memes, the combos, the usual. Go ahead and join that up. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.